And hello, one and all. We are live, and welcome to my review for the biggest Raw of the year. This is my review for Monday Night Raw, the April 4th edition of Raw. And wow, from start to finish, the Raw after WrestleMania is usually an exciting episode, and this one certainly, pulled no punches from start to finish. It was a great show. What more can I say? This was this 3 hours. It flew by. It was just from start to finish. There was so much good stuff that happened on this show. This set up for so much potential. There's a lot of potential coming out of this episode. There was a lot of good things done on this episode. There were a lot of storyline developments and a lot of good matches. Just overall, great flow from start to finish. And it would be nice to get this level of consistency every single week with Raw. But, for Raw after WrestleMania, this show definitely delivered. Like I said, we got a lot to talk about. And, I'm going to give you my full thoughts and opinions on what took place on Raw tonight. So without further ado, let's take a look at what took place. So we kick things off with the chairman of WWE, Vince McMahon, making his way to the ring. Vince made his way to the ring. He pretty much said that, Shane put up a valiant fight against The Undertaker, but he was no match for The Undertaker. But Vince said that the one time that he personally felt something was when Shane climbed up on top of that cell. And as we all did, we were like, no, Shane, don't do it. Don't jump off that cell. But Shane had no fear. And in that moment, Vince said that he had some respect for Shane. And pretty much Vince was like, all right, that's it. I'm leaving. But Shane's music hits. Shane's limping. He's barely making his way out onto the stage. And he confronts his father, and he pretty much says, I'm going to be a man about this. I'm going to shake your hand. That's how I do things. And, he says, Shane said that he is the only man in the family he wanted to do this face-to-face with. He shakes Vince's hand and pretty much says, thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the adulation and respect. I really appreciate it. And then Shane looks to make his way to the back. But Vince is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where do you think you're going, Shane? Nobody upstages Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And Vince said, Shane, I'm going to have you be in control of Raw tonight. And this came out of nowhere. I was like, what? So I guess because Vince saw Shane taking the courageous leap off the cell, and Vince gained somewhat respect for his son, and he felt, take pity out on him. Yeah, he can run Raw tonight, but it was a great way to, kick off the show. Shane's in charge. You didn't know what was going to happen. Definitely did not see this coming, but it was awesome. The crowd ate it up. They were going, yes, yes, yes. Hot crowd tonight from Dallas. You always get that international flavor. All the fans that come in, around the world, and it makes for a lively environment. I've always wanted to go to a Raw after WrestleMania. Didn't have the opportunity. Should have went after 29, but missed out on it. But great crowd tonight, and just we were in store for a lot of more good stuff. We had the League of Nations versus the New Day for the Tag Team Championships. This wasn't a bad match. Once it got going, like I said, New Day were able to retain their tag team titles after Big E and Kingston hit the finisher on Wade Barrett for the win. So still tag team champions are the New Day. Before the match, I have to mention that the New Day came out super over with the crowd as to be expected, and they talked about how they had the last giant piece of cereal from Bootios, because you got to eat your Bootios so you ain't booty. They were reenacting the Lion King, how they were holding Simba up. They were holding the piece of Bootios. Oh, New Day, they continue to make me laugh. One of the most entertaining parts of Raw, period. And after the match, New Day made their way up the ramp, and it was the League of Nations in the ring. And Sheamus grabbed the mic and said, there's something wrong with this League of Nations. He said there's a weak link. And the League of Nations beat down Wade Barrett. So Guess it made sense because Wade Barrett, as you all know, he's on his way out in June. He will not be renewing his deal. So it looks like Wade Barrett is out of the League of Nations. Then things got even more interesting. The Wyatt family music hit. Place goes nuts. Wyatts go in there. They freaking level. They take down the League of Nations, which was awesome. Thank you. Just have them destroy them. They destroyed Rusev, Sheamus, who's the other guy? Del Rio. And if the Wyatts were booked in this dominant-like badass fashion, you could get them over as a big, babyface group. I mean, the crowd was just loving them tonight. They were saying, thank you, Wyatts. And I was saying the same thing. I'm like, thank you for getting rid of the League of Losers. They were singing that the crowd was saying they've got the whole world in his hands. So I haven't heard that chant in a while, but very interesting to see the Wyatts come out and attack the League of Nations. Might this be signaling a babyface turn? I certainly hope so. Let me know down in the comments, or if the group chat's actually working, let me know what you guys think of a potential Wyatt family face turn. I think that would be something that is much needed for the group. So, we were off to the races after this. I mean, we had that, and then we had Summer Rae make her way to the ring, pretty much, talking trash, saying how her team should have won against Team Total Divas, and then Sasha Banks makes her way to the ring. She slaps the hell out of Summer Rae, and the boss gets in there and does what the boss does best. She kicks the crap out of Summer Rae. Sasha Banks gets the bank statement locked in, and she makes Summer Rae tap out. So really, really decisive victory for Sasha Banks, who got a great reaction from the crowd after that amazing triple threat match at WrestleMania with Becky and Charlotte. Props to them. Later on in the night, we had an awesome presentation for the Women's Championship that I can't wait to talk about because that was freaking awesome. And then up next was the NXT Apollo Crews making his debut on Monday Night Raw. Certainly shocking. Did not see this coming, but those are the best. It's like, holy shit, Apollo Crews is going to be on Raw. That's freaking awesome. He was matched up against Tyler Breeze. Crews was able to go into the ring and show everybody why, this guy's a tremendous athlete. The agility for a guy his size, I mean, the way he's able to move around that ring, he did that standing moonsault, which was really, really, I love when he does that, incredible. And Crews was able to pick up the decisive victory after hitting the spin-out powerbomb for the win. So Apollo Crews is officially on Monday Night Raw on the main roster, it looks like, going forward, so that he's a great addition to have. There's a number of feuds that I'd love to see Apollo Crews have. You could do Apollo Crews versus Cesaro. You could do Apollo Crews versus AJ Styles. You could do Apollo Crews versus Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Cena. I mean, there's just a number of guys. Seth Rollins when he comes back. So Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I mean, the list is truly endless. I mean, this roster, when everybody's healed up, it's going to be really good. And we got some, returns tonight on Raw, and we got some debuts from NXT. So that'll definitely help lighten the load with the number of injuries that have been occurring over the past number of months. So this was great seeing Crews. I mean, what a first hour. What a first hour. And then you knew it was coming. You knew when Roman Reigns made his way to the ring, the crowd was going to unmercifully – they were going to boom, because I can't say that word, unmercifully. So I'm not going to say that word again. But Reigns, he got showered with boos. I mean, the guy, you knew it was going to happen. There was nothing you could do about it. Reigns made his way to the ring and with a chorus of boos. And he pretty much says that he beat Triple H at WrestleMania and he's the guy. And then Chris Jericho's music hit and interrupts Reigns. Then Owens' music hits and interrupts Reigns. Then we got Sami Zayn coming out. Then we got freaking AJ Styles. So you have all these guys out there, and eventually the ring breaks down into chaos. You got Owens, Zayn going at it. You got Styles and Jericho's going at it. Reigns just sitting back there watching. Eventually, Jericho tosses Styles to the outside, and that's when Reigns hits the spear on Chris Jericho. So later on, Shane backstage tells Reigns there's going to be a fatal four-way match. It's going to be Zayn versus Styles versus Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens to determine the number one contender. So that was your main event match set up, and that turned out to be a phenomenal main event match for this Raw. But we'll get to that later. Then we had Baron Corbin make his Raw debut. Great seeing the Lone Wolf on Raw. Won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale at WrestleMania. Corbin gets on the mic and says he doesn't care, who doesn't know who he is. His arrival signals the end of days for anyone that gets in his way. So very bold words from the Lone Wolf. And Dolph Ziggler would be the one to step up and answer that challenge. The match was going, it was going fairly well. Ziggler was able to get some offense in. But towards the end of the match, Corbin would throw Ziggler over the barricades after hitting a big boot, and they would both be counted out. And this leads to Corbin hitting sick-looking end of days on Ziggler on the outside. So Corbin really made it look like a wrecking force, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes on the main roster. I thought it was the right move to have him win the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. You could really establish him as a legit force on the main roster, and over the past year on NXT, as I've said, he's really improved, and I really think he will be a good fit for the main roster. There are a number of opponents for him to potentially face. The list is too many to name, but you probably know who I'd be talking about. But very decisive win over Ziggler and sick-looking end of days onto the outside of the ring. So then we have the new Intercontinental Champion, Zack Ryder, make his way to the ring. He cuts a pretty damn good promo in the ring. He talks about, when he was a little kid, he got his picture taken with Scott Hall, with his IC championship. And now Scott Hall got his picture taken with Zack Ryder, having his IC title. So a little paying homage to history. That was nice to see. Ryder also pointed out that his father was there. And then, of course, The Miz walks out and ruins the whole thing. Miz pretty much gets in Ryder's face, says he wants a shot at that IC title tonight. Ryder ain't buying it. He says, what have you deserved to earn it, pretty much? And Miz taunts Ryder, and eventually he calls out his father, and then Ryder accepts Miz's challenge. So we have an Intercontinental title match, Miz versus Zack Ryder. Wasn't too bad of a match here. However, and this is what I said in my WrestleMania review, I had a feeling that Zack Ryder was going to lose that IC title tonight on Raw. And as my words came true, your new Intercontinental Champion is The Miz. After Miz got in Ryder's dad's face, his dad pushes Miz, and it looks like, Ryder would get the advantage there. However, Maurice jumps over the barricade, and this leads to Ryder being distracted, and Miz is able to hit the skull-crushing finale. 1, 2, 3. Miz is your new IC champion. So it looks like Maurice will be back for the long haul, possibly being like a manager type valet for The Miz. So it was sad to see Ryder lose the IC title after just winning it at WrestleMania. However, he did have a WrestleMania moment, so that's something that they can't take away from him. Like I said, this match with The Miz wasn't bad at all, but it's disappointing to see Ryder lose the title after just winning it yesterday. Then we had, after this, the Women's Championship presentation. We had Lita in the ring. It was great seeing Lita on Monday Night Raw. She pretty much says how she's there to formally present the WWE Women's Championship to Charlotte after Charlotte won it last night in the triple threat match. This was really an awesome moment. Charlotte gets in the ring, holding that new belt. It's awesome to see that there's finally the women's title is back. No more Divas Championship. No more term diva. It's been a long time coming, and this was certainly a moment. Charlotte talks about how she thanks everyone watching at home and in the arena. Eventually, there's a women's wrestling chant that gets going from the crowd, so that was awesome to see. Brought a smile to my face. And then eventually Charlotte said that, most importantly, she wouldn't be going down in the record books if it wasn't for her father, Ric Flair. And Charlotte pretty much talks up her own game, being the arrogant bitch that she is. And then eventually, as she's belittling all the women around her, they begin to leave the ring. And pretty much Charlotte's the only one left in the ring. However, Natalya gets on the mic and pretty much, goes toe-to-toe with Charlotte. She pretty much says she wants to challenge Charlotte to a match, but Charlotte pretty much blows Natalya off. She's like, why should I have to fight you? I'm the women's champion. I don't have to do what you say. And then Charlotte eventually gets put into the sharpshooter by Natalya. However, Ric Flair was able to pull Charlotte out of the ring. So might we be seeing Natalya versus Charlotte again for the women's championship? I enjoyed their series of matches before at Roadblock and on NXT. Would be something I'd like to see. You could do Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, continue Charlotte versus Becky. Eventually Bayley will get called up. So there's a lot of options going forward for the reinstated women's championship. And it's just nice to be able to say matches going forward will be for the women's title, because right then there, it simply raises the prestige, of that title. No more divas. So happy. Long time coming. So I really enjoyed this segment. Apparently there was a video promo airing for a returning Epico and Primo. I missed that, but apparently they're coming back. They're not going to be called the Los Matadors. Thank God. That gimmick was trash, and that gimmick deserves to be burned and incinerated in the trash can from where it came from. So it'll be interesting to see Epico and Primo back on TV when they make their re-debuts again, make their returns, should I say. After this, we had a tables match between the Usos and the Dudley Boys. Match was all right. The Usos lost after they were going for the Usos splash on both Devon and Bubba Ray, who were laid out on tables. Dudley Boys move, smart move. Usos go through the tables. Your winners are the Dudley Boys. Then, after the commercial break, Dudley Boys are still in the ring. Actually, take that back. We're going to rewind. Before that, we have a promo with Sami Zayn talking about how it has been his dream to win the WWE Championship one day. And before he can finish what he's saying, he is attacked by Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens power bombs him through a table. And that takes Sami Zayn out of the main event match. Now, I heard that when Sami Zayn made his appearance earlier on Raw, he might have hurt his shoulder. So I'm not sure what's going on with Sami Zayn. Let's hope he's not injured after just coming off shoulder surgery. It would be a damn shame to see Sami Zayn go down with another injury. So prayers for Sami Zayn. Hope everything is all right for him, because I'd hate to see another injury, especially to a guy like Sami Zayn who's busted his ass, as he said in his promo, for 14 years to make it to Raw on the main roster in the big leagues. But Zayn was out of the Fatal 4-Way match. Then, this was awesome. Truly marked out for this. Enzo and Cass make their debuts on Raw. It was like, holy shit, I was hoping for this all night. I was thinking they would debut earlier in the tag team match between the New Day and the League of Nations. Didn't happen. So the Dudley Boys were still hanging around ringside. They were making their way to the back. And how you doing? Enzo and Cass make their way to the ring. Enzo cuts this awesome promo, making fun of the freaking Dudleys. The crowd was electric. They were chanting Enzo Amore. It was surreal to see. Dudleys look like they're going to get into the ring. They decide not to. They're like, we don't need this. Just let them talk a big game. So then Cass gets on the mic and says, I think I know what the Dudley Boys are. They're SAWFT, soft. So it looks like we're going to be getting the Dudley Boys versus Enzo and Cass. And I cannot think of a better feud to introduce Enzo and Cass to the main roster than with the Dudley Boys. I think that would be a pretty damn good feud for them to start off with. And what a way to energize the WWE Tag Team division. Not only is Enzo and Cass debuting tonight on Raw, on SmackDown this Thursday, the Vaudevillains will be making their debut as well. So you had two teams to the tag team division right then and there. It freshens things up, and you can have a variety of number of feuds to work with. So this was awesome. Truly, truly awesome. Long time coming, and how you doing? Then we had the main event of the evening. It was a number one contenders match. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho versus, drumroll, the King of Swing, Cesaro. That's right. Cesaro is back. And it was great to see Cesaro. Long time coming after his shoulder surgery in November. Cesaro got a great pop from the crowd. I went crazy. I was like, yes, Cesaro is back. And he really shined in this match. All four of these guys shined in this awesome Fatal 4-Way main event to determine who would be the one to be the number one contender for Roman Reigns' championship. Wall-to-wall action, nonstop action. Too much to recount here, but this was just, if you watched it, you know it was an awesome match. You put all four of these guys together, you know they're going to put on a damn good match, and that's exactly what it was. There was one nice spot where, of course, Cesaro, he was hitting the uppercuts on Owens and Jericho, and then eventually Styles. So he was hitting uppercuts on all three of the guys in there. Eventually, towards the end of the match, Styles would hit a backslide on, I believe it was Jericho, and for the win. So AJ Styles, you heard me, AJ Styles is the number one contender for Roman Reigns' championship. Definitely didn't see that coming. I thought maybe it would be Owens or Jericho, or hell, even Cesaro, but seeing AJ win, definitely well-deserving, and I'm all up for Styles and Reigns. That should be really, really good. So probably see that match at Payback. Sure, I'll definitely watch for that match. So this was a really good Fatal 4-Way main event match. The guys busted their asses and put on a tremendous showing. And that was Monday Night Raw, folks. That was the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 32. I'm going to give this show an A+. From start to finish, the show flew by. If they would put on the show every single week, they would probably increase their ratings dramatically. Hopefully they can keep it up, but I'm not getting my hopes up. But we shall see next week. So yeah, I'm giving this show an A. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed this show. So that's my Raw review, guys. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought. Thank you all for tuning into view. I appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for the subscriptions. Thank you for your loyalty. And thank you for sticking with me throughout this WrestleMania week. It's hard to believe Mania week has come and gone. It really, it didn't take long, but I enjoyed it. TakeOver was great. Mania was all right. The Hall of Fame, well worth it. And Raw, of course, was great. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions on Raw. So thank you again all for watching. Please click that like and subscribe button for more video content. And be on the lookout for my next video, whenever that may be. And I will see you guys on the other side. Peace.